Hey, what's happening, everybody? I am at Pruitt, and this is Everyday People doing everyday shit. The sometimes random, interesting, sometimes quirky podcasts that you can find on any of your podcast apps out there, as well as YouTube streaming live during the recording. Thank y'all for being here. Hope y'all are doing well. I am unbelievable as always. If you are catching live inside of YouTube at the moment, please do me a favor and select the thumbs up button, the like button, all that good stuff. So YouTube will show us some love. I'm going to turn my mic down just a touch because it seems like I was coming in a little bit hot, but I think we're good now. Also, feel free to tell others about the show that are interested in just random people sitting around doing everyday shit and talking everyday shit. So thank you for being here. As you can see right now, if you're watching live on the recording, I'm by myself. Queen Pruitt is here, but Queen Pruitt said not having a good day. So I said, look here, you don't have to feel pressured to be on these damn mics. That's not how this is supposed to work, at least not in my world. So she's not on the mic. She's out there watching TV or something other, what have you. All good. No worries. I'm going to plow ahead and just do like we normally would do, or I would normally do. All right. Anyway, hope y'all are doing all right. So as I previously said on the last show, and I know last show was a little bit heavy, if you will, as I spoke about Hoffman and all that good stuff. But it was some stuff that I wanted to share, because I think people were curious about the process, and I wanted to get that stuff off my chest, as well as some of the information about the process off my chest. So thank you for all of the feedback on there. I believe I did there was one tweet in there that I liked. Of course, I can't find it now because I get a gazillion notifications on X and stuff like that. But yeah, appreciate everybody that reached out and shared their support regarding either the process or regarding the show and so forth. But yeah, that was last week. And in addition to that, we also alluded to the fact that we still had some other stuff going on from a family standpoint. And that was, we had to do one more drop off and just finally empty the nest. As you can see, I got my trusty UO Oregon Ducks hat on. I can, based on some of the stuff that happened this past weekend, I can definitely wear my Oregon hats and Oregon gear more. I'll just say it like that. So yeah, this weekend, youngest hardhead, a week after high school graduation, had to be dropped off at Eugene, Oregon's University of Oregon. And we had some hiccups and stuff like that, but it was a really, really good time. And the both of us are very, very happy for him. I want to give a shout out to one of my homies up in the vicinity. I'm not going to dox my homie or anything like that, keep their name private. But long story short, because all of this walk-on stuff happened so late for Hardhead, he was missing out on a lot of things as far as registration goes, and they were doing their best to try to just push some things through to get him in and get some things registered. And the one thing that fell through was a dorm for him. So here's the whole skinny on that. The Oregon Ducks football team, they don't live in dorms. They live in apartments there on the campus somewhere. And it is their apartment complex. I don't think anybody else is staying there. And the rent for said apartment is $1,000 a month. When I saw that lease agreement come through to my boy and he saw it and it said $1,000 a month, I was like, dude, you can't afford $1,000 a month. I can't afford $1,000 a month. You're going to have to go stay in a dorm and just jump on your bike and go to the football facility or drive your car to the football facility. You can stay in the dorm with the rest of the college kids. So we reached out to the coaching staff well, not necessarily the coach's staff, but the handlers from the coach's staff, the team, and they're all great kids and do a good job. Let them know what's up. And they're like, yeah, we get it. So he'll be in a dorm. Let's get him registered for a dorm. Tried to get registered for a dorm. It was too late because he's got to be there for the summer, not the fall. And it was too late to register for the summer, but it's plenty of time to register for the fall. So what they were trying to do is just get him there and said, hey, just get there. Maybe we can find you an Airbnb or something of that nature and go from there. And that was all good and kind, but little do most people realize is right about now, the United States Olympic trials for track and field is happening in Eugene, Oregon. So you ain't going to find a hotel, at least not for cheap. You ain't going to find an Airbnb, at least not for cheap. Not anywhere in that surrounding area of Eugene, Oregon. I mean, it's locked down. And so there was a bit of a panic there. But then I realized I got a homie that's up in that area. I said, hey, can Hardhead stay with you for a week till he gets this stuff squared away and then move him into his dorm? And my homie's like, yep, not a problem. So, but then he was like, not a problem, but I'm not going to be there. So I'll make sure to leave a key for you to get there. And he did. So thank you for that. That was a big help. He's been able to go back and forth to the facility to do all of his football duties without a problem. And yeah, it was very, very helpful. And my son is definitely grinning ear to ear because, you know, yes, he's a walk-on, but he is a preferred walk-on, and he is treated just like any of these other football players that are all these 5-star, 4-star, full-ride scholarship kids. And he's loving life. He's loving life, and we're very, very, very happy for him. But yeah, that was the whole weekend, was just getting him moved and getting him in there and getting him acclimated. So now this week, he's just sort of handling all of the business side of things, in addition to going to practice and training and all of that good stuff. And just living it up. And it's been great hearing from him. He messages us pretty regularly to let us know what's going on. And we'll go from there. But on another positive side about it, yes, he's doing all of the things the rest of the football players do because he's a ball player. And we were blessed to be able to get a little bit of funding from the football team for him. Wasn't a full scholarship or nothing like that. So let's just go ahead and get that clear. But as I said a long time ago, they're probably going to give you some money, Jake. And they did. They gave him some money. It'll be dispersed here really soon to go towards the tuition expenses and all of that other stuff. So we're jumping for joy for that. And I am forever grateful for these opportunities being presented to all of my boys. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, as I started the show, I said I am quite happy to wear these Duck swag and stuff that I bought to support him because, yeah, they're showing some love, and I am really, really happy about that. So, yeah, that's what's going on with Oregon. That's what's going on with him being out of the house, and we now have an empty nest. But I definitely have some thoughts on the empty nest because driving back from Eugene was a 9-hour drive. Of course, it took longer than that for us, but had a lot to think about during those 9 hours. But before we get into that, I want to pause for half a second or so to allow some ads to run so we can try to pay some bills with this little here podcast that we do. So y'all stay right there and we will be right back. And we are back. This is Everyday People Doing Everyday Shit. Our fun little podcast where we just sit down and just talk on the mics about everyday shit that everyday people do. Because there's a bunch of podcasts out there about celebrities and all of that stuff. And most of them ain't that good. So because they talk about stuff that no one can relate to. But on this here show, I'm going to keep it straight up with you. And I believe a lot of you can relate to the stuff that we deal with. So anyway, and speaking of hard hit, my phone is buzzing because that's him buzzing in now, because he likes to message us quite regularly. And he even said so just earlier today. He's like, finding out that college makes me want to text more than previously. So I'm happy for him. He's just really, really happy. But anyway, let's get into this whole emptiness thing. Now, granted, I know most of the people that listen to this show, because I do look at my analytics, are not, younger folks. Most people are slightly younger than I am, or older than I am, or the same age. So it's roughly about the same age. And then I also know that not everybody that listens to the show are parents. And that made me think about, how do people go through dealing with the whole aspect of the empty nest? And when I say empty nest, for people that don't know, that means when you have children and your children get all grown up and decide to move out of the house. Okay, just so we're clear. I'm assuming y'all are smarter than that. So they're all out of the house now, and my boys have all moved on, and it really, really hit me. It hit me right at about 10 o'clock a.m. Sunday morning, because that was as we were walking to the parking lot of the football facility Bat Cave, and they had released us to say, all right, they pretty much said, all right, parents, that's it. Time to go, get the hell out of here. And it was, I knew it was coming because I've been there. I can still remember when my moms and my grandma dropped me off at college a gazillion years ago, because I was a football player, and they dropped me off at camp and all that good stuff. And the idea of them driving out of that parking lot, I watched the car drive out of the parking lot, and then that shit just hit me like, oh man, you are on your own. You're by yourself. And that was me as an 18-year-old kid. But now I am an old-ish man, and I'm on the other side of that. And so I thought about it with what I lived through, and now I think about far as all of the time, and I can't speak for her, but I think about all of the time that I spent as a dad, doing regular dad duties, but then all of that extra time, and then all of that running around that I did for the different sports and different activities, and going to watch really crappy plays and choruses and stuff, and band recitals. And not all the band recitals were crappy. They were pretty good. But, I saw my fair share of stuff that I didn't care to see. But a lot of the stuff I did, and I did for them, and I did enjoy. And all of that stuff is gone now. It's just gone. And getting home and realizing, all right, it's just me and her. And it's just a whole different feeling. And I remember pulling up in here after the long drive Sunday night, and it had a different feel to it. And that's cool. It was all right. Went to bed, and, it was all good. But man, that next morning, it really, really felt weird. Let me see if I can show y'all a picture. This is a picture from the facility as we're saying goodbye. And this is a picture of us sitting in the orientation and being welcomed with all of the other newcomers. Most of these are freshmen, but one or two of them were transfers from other colleges. And yeah, man, that was crazy. It was surreal. But then that Monday morning, waking up, and the fact that I didn't necessarily have to think about, all right, I need to make sure this dude's getting his ass up out the door to go to school. Now granted, I will have to do that again at some point because college classes are going to start. But it just felt really, really different. And I can't speak for her because I don't know exactly what she's feeling, but I know she's been pretty heavy hearted with all of it too. As a mother, it's going to hit differently as a mother because the mom carries the child, and if she cares to talk about this at a later date, I'll let her talk about it. Not but you know what I mean? I'll allow the mics to be open for her to talk about it. But, it was really, really heavy. And so with that in mind, I started to think about the folks that I interact with, people that are older than me that went through this, people that are younger than me that went through this, people that are, older than me and didn't go through this because they don't have kids. And then I started thinking about my moms, and I wanted to interview my moms and just play the interview on the show. She wasn't having it. But she did give me consent to talk about the discussion and her thoughts on it all. So let me share some of the stuff that we talked about, because again, it's a whole different scenario when it comes to her and some of the other parents out there. In my scenario, this is a household that's got both parents in it. That's a whole different world right there that most people don't even get to see. And in her case, it was just single mom. And with her, to hear her tell it, the nest never really felt emptied while I went away to college, because I was only 2-3 hours away. I was still within a decent arm's reach kind of thing. And same for my sibling, my sister. She didn't go off to college, but when she left the house, she was still in town, if you will. She was still reachable. And then even many years after college and starting my family and so forth, I was still just roughly 2 hours away. So my mom's nest never really felt empty. But then that changed in 2019. She said when we moved in 2019 to California, she could feel a difference there. And I remember having a conversation with her prior to even getting the opportunity to come to California. I told her a couple years prior, I said, look, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm trying to get the hell out of Carolina and I'm trying to go west. I just need to get up out of here. And it was a serious conversation. She wasn't thrilled about it, but she wasn't unhappy about it. She gets it. She got why I felt the way I felt. And years go by and the opportunity to run my own show at Pruitt came up, and I hit the road, But when I found, actually before I hit the road, I let her know I got the opportunity, and she was happy for me. But I can remember her saying, the only thing I don't like is I won't be able to see my grandkids grow up like that, like right there in the backyard, And I said, I know, and I understand, but this is something that I had to do, And fortunately, technology made it easier to be able to do video chats and stuff like that. So she was able to interact with them on a regular basis and still do to this day. And that sort of helped things. But when she talked about the whole empty nest aspect, that's when she felt it, is when she was like, okay, yeah, y'all are really gone. And you're not just an arm's length away from us. So I don't know how it is for any of you. Are you parents? Are you parents that have experienced the empty nest? What did it feel like for you? Are you parents and you got a long way to go, or is it right around the corner for you? I want to know. For those of you that have actually gone through it, let me know your thoughts on it. Let me know what you felt. I have, it's mixed emotions. I have a huge sense of pride about it all, because I want my young boys to be young men, to grow up to be great men. And they can't be great men until they get out into the world and start experiencing some shit. And quite frankly, they can't grow to be great men, in my opinion, without getting their nose bloodied a little bit. They're going to have to stumble some, make a mistake here and there, learn from the mistakes, that kind of thing. That's the only way that I know of, because that's what I lived. And I am really, really grateful that they have these opportunities and are doing their best to try to grow up. You know, my other hardhead, Isaiah, is 21, and it was so cool to see him while we're up there, because he's in Forest Grove. He was another 2 hours north. He was in Forest Grove, Oregon, and he's 21 years old. And it was the first time I was able to have a drink with my son. And I'll never forget that. It was, you know, not that I'm a drunk or anything, but I've always sort of looked forward to being able to have a drink with my kids, you know. So again, it was just a very, very heavy weekend. Just filled with love and joy and pride, and man, just, sorry for rambling, but I got a super chat that just came in here. I need to pull this up here. This comes from my man, Ozone Nightmare. Good evening, Mr. Pruitt. Not staying long as I'm fighting a cold. Dude, that sucks. You're fighting a cold in the summertime? Those are the worst. Damn. Thank you for the $20 super chat. But I wanted to drop by and say hello. Hope all is well with you, sir. It is, man. It is. All the best to you, Mr. Ozone Nightmare. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the financial support there. Get well soon. Rest up. You know, do whatever you do to get yourself better. I'm not going to give you advice because, you know, my advice may not be what works best for you. But yeah. So let me know y'all's thoughts on that stuff. It just like I said, it just felt different for me on Monday, as it should, right? As it should. It felt different for me on Monday, because Monday was when the world starts over. That's the work day, that kind of thing. So, oh man. Anyway, I'm going to pause one more time for a quick ad break. So I'm going to clear my throat in the break. Y'all stay right there. We'll be right back. And we're back, everyday people, doing everyday shit podcast here in the new studio-ish, which is still not quite worked out, but it's getting there. As you can see on the screen, I have my lights square. I got some of my acoustic treatment up. Some of it I need to put a couple more panels up. I haven't tested it, but just based on prior experience, I feel like I got it, most of the stuff where I need it to go. Granted, what you see on the screen is a dark screen. So maybe if I turn on the other light where Queen Pruitt would be, hold on. Yeah, I guess I can do that. Where are you going? Y'all ain't got nowhere to go. Hold on. Stay right there. And there we go. That is the studio. It's slowly but surely coming together and getting cleaned up a little bit at a time. Still got a crap ton to do. Like right here is her camera. I don't know if I'm going to keep it there or not, or if I'm going to move it to the front, but I'm probably going to keep it there. Just we'll see once she sits down over there. There's her mic, the chair, some acoustic paneling back there because I'm going to be talking towards that way. So we don't want any of that reverb and crap bouncing all over the place. Yeah, it's slowly coming along. I spent most of the day today in here working on trying to get stuff out of here. If I open that door, it is an absolute wreck in that hallway. There's still boxes and there's still stuff that's just in there that I need to get rid of and sort out. But it's going to take some time. Holy crap, it's going to take some time. Oh, man. So anyway, what have y'all been up to? Feel free to reach out. Let us know. Shoot an email to podcast@antpruitt.com. Again, any questions, comments, feedback can go to podcast@antpruitt.com. Let me know your thoughts on this whole empty nest thing, man. I'm sure that's part of the stuff that's going on with her in there, that, you know, or she didn't really want to be on the mic. And I get it. That's all right. I'm getting there. I think I'm about normalized to it now, I think. And it's probably because I'm able to pick up the phone and talk to them with video chat and stuff like that. We still have the family Slack channel going, just like we would do any other time. The only difference is I archived his high school's channel. So there's no more conversations going on in there. So, all right. Thank y'all again for watching. Thank you for all of the feedback, comments, and questions and so forth. If you're inside of YouTube, again, you can use all of the supporter tools in there, be it a super chat, be it a super thanks, be it a super comment, all of that good stuff is available to you. Thank you for utilizing that. And if you don't want to do that, feel free to join our Patreon community. Just go to patreon.com/AntPruitt or go to antpruitt.com/Patreon. It takes you to the same spot. Thank you for joining there. Tomorrow I will be working on some writing as well as working on more of my short story because I'm starting to get a little bit more time there. I do have a video assignment to do, but I do plan on writing some. And as I've done before, I may share, I'm pretty sure I'm going to share some of my writing with my Patreon community. Just a snippet of a chapter here and there, just to let you know what's going on with the story. I still, granted, I haven't written in several weeks now for obvious reasons, but that story is in my head. It's not going anywhere. And I really do look forward to writing and at some point getting that thing published within the next year or so. We shall see. All right. Thank you again for all the support. Thank you for all of the love. Hey, be sure to love yourself. It's okay to love yourself. So go ahead and do something nice for yourself. Be it little or big, I don't care. Do something good for yourself. And then take some time to do something good for someone else. I am Ant Pruitt. Follow us on the socials, and we shall see y'all next time.